now for your Sydney FC. Number 1, Adam Pavletic. Number 4 and captain Anton Milnerick. Number 5, Thomas Fay. Number 6, Callum Ewanov. Number 7, Jay Coleman. Number 9, Benjamin Coop. Number 13, Jordan Swivel. Number 15, Scott Browning. Number 17, Callum Talbot. Number 18, Cameron Pippion. And number 14, Patrick Flotman. Substitutions for Sydney FC. Number 2, Cameron Fong. Number 3, Karen Bird. Number 20, Levi Kay. Number 11, pardon me, Jordan Kucherowski. And number 24, Patrick Wood. Sydney FC are coached by Jimmy Van Leeuwen. Referee for today's match is Toby Flacco. His assistants are Ray Osborne and June Park. And the fourth official will be Jared Katz. Gentlemen, please welcome the teams on the field for this evening's match. Marconi Stallions FC and your Sydney FC.
Hello and welcome to Illingdon Sports Centre for the final game of round 2 of the National Premier League's New South Wales Men's 1 competition. If round 1 was anything to go by, we'll be in for a treat tonight as last round winners Sydney FC take on Marconi Stallions. The young Sky Blues were great in the heat last week, overcoming Mount Druitt Town Rangers 2-1, whilst the Stallions were the biggest winners of round 1, defeating Sutherland Sharks 4-1. On paper, it looks to be an exciting game, and no doubt there'll be plenty of action on the field throughout the 90 minutes tonight. I'm Will Gottis, and I'll be in commentary. Here's how both teams line up. Firstly to today's home side, Sydney FC in goals, Adam Pavlicic. A back four of left to right, Thomas Fay, Anton Mlinarik, captain, Patrick Flotman and Callum Talbot. Holding midfield of Callum Niewenhoff and Scott Browning, and a front four of Jake Holman, Geordie Swibble, Benjamin Coop and Cameron Pupion. The substitutes tonight for Sydney FC, Levi Kay, Aaron Gerd, Jaden Kacharski and Patrick Wood. Of course, Sydney is coached by Jim Van Wieren. Now to the visiting side, Marconi Stallions in goals. Nenad Vekic, a back four of Giorgio Speranza, Nathan Milgate, Zach Cancross, Robbie Speranza. Holding midfield of Liam Yulee and Connor Evans, and a front four of Mitchell Malia, Marko Jesic, captain, Anthony Frangi and Anthony Costa. And on the bench today, Mark Rodic, Brandon Vella, James Andrew, Martin Fernandez and Dion Shaw. Of course, only the two changes for Sydney FC today. Marconi is unchanged. They are coached by Peter Tsakenis. And why would you change a side off a big 4-1 victory to open the season? Today's referee is Toby Plasto. The assistant referees Jun Park and Ray Osborne, and your fourth official will be Jared Katz. Just wait for play to start here at Illingdon Sports Centre. The two games played earlier today down in Wollongong was an upset. The new boys, North Shore Mariners, overcoming last year's premiers. They came from behind twice in that game to win 3-2. Whilst out at Popondetta Park, it was a big victory to Sydney United 58. They defeated Mount Druitt Town Rangers by 5-0. As we have kick-off here at Illingdon Sports Centre, Marconi in the green shirts, Sydney FC in the sky blue shirts. Sydney will be running to the right on your screen. Marconi will be running to the left-hand side as we see the first touch of the bay to Sydney FC player Patrick Flotman. Long ball forward. Looking for Jake Holman. Goes out on the far side. First throw-in of the day. Be taken by Thomas Fay for Sydney. Looking for Geordie Swibble. Nathan Milgate gets there first. As we see a switch of play now coming across to Callum Talbot. Patrick Flotman goes all the way back to Adam Pavlicic. He looks to switch it back across to the right. Talbot just heaps it on down the line. Looking for Cameron Pupion. The youngster just loses out, but still fighting hard with Liam Yulee. Marconi with the throw. Of course, the one game being played at the moment at Lambert Park. Up Leichhardt Tigers and Sydney Olympic. We'll keep you abreast of the scores throughout this game. Of course, that game kicking off half an hour earlier. A long ball forward by Milgate. Looking for Frangi. Tries to head it down, does well to control it, but loses out to Jake Holman, who's tracking back for Sydney. As they look to play out now, first time ball from Scott Browning. Looking for Benjamin Coop. Screaming through the middle is Jordan Swibble. He plays safely back to Nenad Vekic. Up towards the halfway line it goes. Marko Jesic, but in comes Anton Mlinarik. Of course, the skipper today for Sydney FC. One of a number of Joeys in the system at Sydney. Thomas Fay with the throw. Looking for Swibble's partner in Coop. Can cross. Finding Frangi. Head on by Jesic. Costa just can't get the ball in the right channel there for Anthony Frangi. Sydney with another throw. Of course, as we touched on last week, Sydney FC, a big victory against Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Many had tipped Mount Druitt in that one, but the Sky Blues led from the outset and were good for the value. Also, it was a big final 25 minutes from Peter Tsakenis' side. Pouring on 3 goals to win 4-1 comfortably in the end against Sutherland Sharks. These sides have had 4 meetings over the 2 years. Sydney FC yet to taste victory in this contest. Marconi with the 3 wins, just the 1 draw, but Marconi last season called both their games. 2-0 in the first part of the season. Round 14, it was a 5-2 victory to them. Whole new Sydney FC lineup this year. Many of the players in the A-League squad are having left. Only 4 of that round 14 side last year are playing tonight for Jim Van Wieren. But a side with plenty of potential. One that is extremely looking forward to the season coaching. Lenarich. Browning. Under pressure there. Almost loses out to Costa, but it's given over, and it's Mitchell Marlier now for Marconi. Tries to slide it through the middle, but Lenarich recovers well. Sydney win back possession. Channel ball through the centre, a little difficult. So many Sky Blues around for Marlier. As they look to break down the right-hand side now through Talbot overlapping. The ball inside the box. Cleared away by Marconi. Giorgio Speranza with the block. Off Geordie Swibble, wins himself the goal kick. Those of you not in Sydney, it was quite a horrible day early on in Sydney town today, but the sun is out and shining brightly. Doesn't appear to be any threat of rain in this one. Pupion. Back in field. Yuli. Beautiful skills there from the forward. A Wanderlei Academy player. Tough challenge there by Mlinaric on Jesic. So referee Plasto quick to spot it. Marco Jesic just saying, "You got me, sir." Plenty of action off the field in the off-season this year. Not just player movement, but players having children. Marco Jesic, one of them. Mitchell Marlier. Connor Evans now floats it forward. Quickly called offside is Marconi. They like to use that set piece quite often. Nathan Milgate, the target man. Very good in the air. As you see, the referee walk across, just have a work to the assistant referee, Jun Park. Not sure what that was all about. Referee just having a word to Zach Cancross. Pavlicic looking for Pupion. Roberto gets there first. Lenarich sends it forward. Cancross. Evans. First time pass it was from Liam Yuli. And beautiful vision there from Connor Evans. Finding Anthony Frangi. Looks to get the ball into the box. Gets a deflection and a corner. Marconi. 6 3/4 minutes gone here at Illington Sports Centre. Still no score. Sydney FC 0, Marconi Stallions 0. But a great opportunity now once again for Marconi from this set piece. And as is customary for them, Nathan Milgate, Zach Cancross bomb forward for the set pieces. Big bodies in the box. Let's see how Sydney FC defend this set piece. There plays it short, looking for Frangi, the 1-2 ball. Ball back in, far post, looking for the header. Milgate gets there first. Cleared away by Sydney FC, 18 as far as Giorgio Speranza. Will be Sydney FC with a goal kick. Progress score from Lambert Park. 38 minutes gone. It's Apia. Leichhardt 1 leading Sydney Olympic 0. May have been David DePuzzo with the first goal of the afternoon there. Flotman forward. Hopped on its way, it was by Holman. There's Patrick Flotman under pressure from Marco Jesic. Does well. Holds him off. Of course not. Many know what to expect from Sydney FC this year. We touched on at the top of the call the amount of players that have left Van Weeren's squad. Joel King playing first grade for Sydney FC. Harry van der Sarg. Marco Tilio, he's unavailable tonight, as is Thomas Hewitt-Bell. They were involved in the Big Blue last night for Sydney FC. Marco Tilio coming on as a substitute. The ball in. Looking for the header, Frangie, and tipped over by Pavlicic. Well, he had to be aware there, Adam Pavlicic. A beautiful ball in by Mitchell Malia. Great diagonal ball at Anthony Frangie. Looking at the back post. On target it was. First opportunity of the game goes to the Stallions. Of course, Jerry Skotardis, another one of those players that started off the season last year for Van Weeren, now at Western United. Even Lee McGing started the year. He's over at Wellington Phoenix, so certainly blooding some youngsters in the setup at Sydney FC. The ball in by Malia. Cleared away by Flotman. And they can break now through Holman. The ball over the top looking for Pupion. Quick off his line is Vekic. Plays it safely for Frangie. Jesic to Evans. The ball over the top. Once again looking for Marco Jesic. Defended nicely over on the far side by Callum Nieuwenhof. Speaking with Jim Van Weeren pre-game, a lot of these youngsters for the Sky Blues are 2001, 2002 date of birth. Quite a young, fresh side this year. The long throw. Falls for Frangie. Cleared away by Mlinaric. Up over the halfway line. Reload once again. Roberto Speranza. Jesic, delightful ball in for Evans. Just can't get the right angle on that header. Frangie on the far side in the corner, fighting with Nieuwenhof. Thomas Fay there to help out. Comes away with the ball. There's a foul on Jake Holman, it was. Just joining us, 11 and a half minutes gone in this one. Just the one opportunity to Marconi. Only a few moments early, Anthony Frangie had his header on target, tipped over by Adam Pavlicic. But it's young Sky Blues now in transition. Finding Pupion. Talbot. Oh, it looks to clear it, but in the end it will fall for a Sydney corner kick. And it's Thomas Fay. We'll take this set piece for Sydney into the sun. Just looking for the runners. In the middle of the box it goes. Scrambles everywhere. Final touch coming off. Speranza. And it's Giorgio Speranza concedes. Yet another corner to Sydney. They couldn't deal with the in-swinging ball from Thomas Fay there. This time will be Callum Talbot to swing it in with his right. The ball in far post. Parried away by Vekic. Browning leaves it for Holman. Good couple of minutes of possession here from Sydney FC. Well, up and under. Again, Sydney just inch their way down the sideline. Browning, Talbot, Flopman. Plays it back to Pavlicic. Marconi just happy for Sydney to play with it in their defensive third at the moment. No pressure. Long ball forward this time for Coop. Oh, lovely first touch by Coop, finding Pupion. Swibble. Pupion once again. Ben Coop, first time looking for Swibble. Just a little too heavy, that touch. Some nice movement. Once again from Sydney. Millgate, long ball forward. This time it's Robert Speranza with the chase. And Norwich plays it out. Marconi with the throw deep in Sydney territory. Evans. The match performance from him last week saw him make his way into the round one team of the week. Had a wretched run of injuries last season. We all know the ability that he has if he's fit and healthy, and so far so good for Peter Tsakenis in 2020. Holman under pressure from Malia. No advantage, says the referee. So Sydney with the free kick just inside Marconi territory. 15.5 gone here at Illingdon Sports Centre. Sydney FC 0. Marconi Stallions 0. Frangie does well. Gets the ball back, and it's Marko Jesic now in transition for Marconi, the block. And Adam Pavlicic was wrong-footed there because of the deflection, but in the end he did well to concede the corner to Marconi. That's certainly the danger for Sydney FC, trying to play out and getting caught in the hard press for Marconi when they choose to press. Marko Jesic to swing this one in. Far post he goes, looking for the header there of Millgate. He recycles out to Evans. He puts his through that one. Just can't get over the top of it. Plenty of bodies in the way. Was Connor Evans on the score sheet last week for Marconi. Buoyed by that confidence-boosting goal. Mitchell Marlio, Marko Jesic and Brandon Vella off the bench also among the scorers. For Peter Tsakenis, Yuli, Frangie. Jesic the 1-2 with Frangie. That's Talbot in front of him, so it goes square. Yuli with a vision. They'll do well to keep this one in, can't do so. Just mistimed that first touch. Again, a nice diagonal ball, this time from Liam Yuli. Frangie. Handball. Played on quickly by Sydney. Talbot. There's Pupion short. No other options, so plays it. Flopman. Nieuwenhoff. Loses out under the challenge from Anthony Costa. Yuli, two-footed challenge. And he'll be the first person into the referee's book today. Liam Yuli. It's a tough challenge on Jake Coleman. Certainly a tackle that warranted a yellow card for Liam Yulee. Flopman. Talbot. Nice cut inside, almost loses out. He does lose out to Anthony Costa. It's Anthony Frangi this time. Tries the Maradona in the middle of the field. Why not? Going to try something like that. Out of the danger zone. Worked well for them at that time. So Malia loses out. Browning overlapping is Talbot. A little too heavy on it. It'll do well to keep this in. Callum Talbot is on his skates, but just can't get there. Was good vision from Scott Browning. Of course, Sydney FC this year calling the Illingdon Sports Centre home. First 2 years up in NPL 1, they did call Lambert Parkers home, but moved to the southern side this year. Vekic with a goal kick. Speranza. Malia. Making Roberto Speranza work hard in the corner. Thomas Fay wins the throw for Sydney. Marconi back in possession now though. Vekic to play quickly now through Giorgio Speranza. Speaking of Speranza, good to see the Speranza family in today at Ellington Sports Centre. Also good to see all the family and friends that travel around, not just across the NPL New South Wales competition, the women's NPL 2, 3 and 4. Makes it a lot more pleasurable for the players playing in front of their family and friends. Malia now looks to beat 1-2. Talbot clears it forward for Coop. Millgate with his height gets there first. Holman looks to cut back inside of Connor Evans. Held up momentarily. Did well there, Connor Evans. Tracking back hard was Roberto Speranza. Yulee. They turn it over. Pupion. Looking for Swibble. Cancross gets in there quickly to nick it away. Seeing Marconi press a lot higher and tougher at the moment. Making it difficult for Sydney. Called plenty of Sydney games last year. It's something they don't lack is confidence. Even if they give away possession, they'll try the same thing again. Nice 1-2, looking for Swibble, gets in behind, but Vekic quick off his line. Distributes quickly for Giorgio Speranza. Frangi. Yulee. Oh, well done there by Callum Nieuwenhof. And it's Coop. Giorgio Speranza wins it back for the Stallions. 22 minutes gone here at Illingdon Sports Centre. Still no score. Sydney FC 0. Marconi Stallions 0. Frangi. And the pressure from Pupion. Yulee turns it over. Browning now. Twisting and turning. Nieuwenhof. Holman. Yulee fighting hard. I need to be careful there with his tackles. Liam Yulee already on the yellow. Nieuwenhof. Browning for Flopman. Has Pupion wide. Does well with his speed, playing for the 1-2. Anthony Frangi interferes with him. Cameron Pupion not happy. Of course, great for the development of these youngsters for Sydney FC. We know that their National Youth League side this year defeated Melbourne, victory in the grand final, 5-0. So a club that's stacked with talent coming through, as we've seen with the players getting their opportunity in the A-League squad, and that's something that Steve Corica has done well since taking over from Graham Arnold. giving the youngsters an opportunity. You'll see in the off-season of the A-League, Steve Corica does get around the grounds and watch the young Sky Blues. Like all good managers do. Keeping an eye on things. Of course, NPL action is a lot different to National Youth League. Onside is Geordie Swibble. Delayed call, though, from the AR, Ray Osborne. So Marconi will resume things with a free kick. Of course, the referee's mic'd up. It's a great thing these days. They can talk to each other. You even see it in futsal. Coop. Browning turns it over. Frangie. No movement at the moment from Marconi. Looking to go through the centre. Nieuwenhof. Coop. They send it forward once again. Not a lot of talk at the moment from the Marconi side out there. Swibble gets there first, the head on, but no one there. Can cross again with a diagonal ball forward, looking for Malia. Gets it down. And wins the free kick. Foul committed there by Thomas Fay. As we see Adam Pavlicic set up his wall. Plenty of dead ball specialists in this Marconi side. Marko Jesic and Mitchell Marley will be the two, though. And it's in a great position, just at the edge of the D. So can really lift it up and over from there. Who will it be? Jesic or Malia? Up steps Malia. Up over the wall he goes. Straight to Pavlicic. Parries it away. Cleared away by Sydney. The second ball recycles out to Liam Yulee. Looking for Frangie. Sydney look to play out now through Nieuwenhof. Almost gets caught by Yulee. Sydney working hard defensively, but just giving away cheap possession. Frangie heads it down for Giorgio Speranza. Of course, we saw Mitchell Marley start the game on the left. Anthony Frangie on the right, but Waikato midfield wingers will swap throughout the game. Connor Evans there, fighting with young Pupion. Throw taken quickly. Flopman sends it forward, looking for Coop. Can cross there. Browning, heavy touch. Turns it over. Frangie, looking for Costa. Connor Evans wins it. Nieuwenhof, fighting tough. The youngster. Down the line again. Can cross. Yulee with a header. Jesic. Tries to dink it in behind for Anthony Costa. Beautiful run in behind. No one in the middle there. Finally cleared away by Browning for Swibble. He'll try and take on Roberto Speranza here with his pace, but Roberto Speranza getting there first. Of course, sporting a new haircut this year. The shaved look at the moment. Another one expecting in 2020. As the sun sets here at Hillingdon Sports Centre. You're just joining us. Still no score here. Sydney FC, Marconi Stallions. As we're now into the 29th minute mark. Ben Coop Rise the challenge of Liam Yuley, still going. Tries to dink it in behind for Geordie Swibble, but cleared away by Giorgio Speranza. Nieuwenhof, Speranza, Costa. Under a heavy challenge from Browning. Quickly played on by Giorgio Speranza. Looking for Jesic. Physical with Mlinaric. In the end, the referee sees one foul too many. So Marconi with a perfect opportunity now to counter on the Sydney goal. Half time at Lambert Park. It's RPL Leichhardt 1 leading Sydney Olympic, Neil. Free kick will be taken by Connor Evans. In the fading sunlight. Plays it hard and low. Unconventional. I was going to say clearance there, but the last touch coming off Roberto Speranza. So Adam Pavlicic playing ball boy. Of course, next week, the games keep coming. Sydney FC will be at their former home, Lambert Park, taking off North Shore Mariners. North Shore Mariners last week holding last year's champions to a draw, 1-1, and this week going down to Albert Butler and coming from behind twice to defeat Wollongong Wolves, 3-2, so 4 points in the opening 2 rounds for the newly promoted Mariners. And Marconi, Saturday night, 7 p.m. They'll be back at home at the Palace, taking on Sydney Olympic. Who could forget that memorable victory they had last year? They put 5 past Olympic. Cancross. Frangie. Jesic. Twisting and turning. Jesic for Roberto Speranza. The ball in. Offside is the call. Quickly flagged on the far side. Correction, the 5 that I was alluding to was the game against Sydney United. And last year Marconi had the wood on Sydney Olympic, defeating them 1-0 and 3-1 in the Cup. Olympic winning the first game of the 2 last year by 3-1. So no doubt that'll be an entertaining contest out at Bosley Park. Of course, half-time at Lambert Park, Olympic with plenty of work to do going down in the opening round to Wollongong Wolves and trailing Apia by the 0-0. Much has been made of Terry Palapanis' recruitment. Side stacked with talent. Ball in, looking for the half-turn shot there by Anthony Costa. Just couldn't get over the ball. It's a great opportunity, Marconi, to open the scoring there. You'd love to have that one again, Anthony Costa. It was a big signing from Adelaide City in the off-season. That was the best opportunity of the game. Goes begging once again for Marconi. Millgate climbs. Costa. Fay plays it back to Pavlicic. Long ball forward. Again, Nathan Milgate's territory. Roberto Speranza gets it long. Well, 33 and a half gone here at Illingdon Sports Centre at the moment. No side really asserting their superiority in this one. Can Sydney FC open up the scoring? Swibble. Nice ball in behind for Cameron Pupion. I'm not sure the advantage wasn't played there. Perhaps the referee thought that Cameron Pupion wasn't going to get to the ball first, as Nenad Vekic was quick off his line, but certainly quick on the whistle not to see how it unfolded. Mlinaric. Fay. Back to his skipper. Jesic. Asserting a little bit of pressure. Pavlicic. Cheeky over the top. Holman for Fay. And Sydney can break now through Swibble. Again, they turn it over on the halfway line. Connor Evans. Needing runners. No movement once again for Marconi. Nieuwenhof wins a free kick. Certainly both gaffers at the moment. Barking plenty of orders out there. Jimmy Van Wieren. Peter Tsakenis. Peter Tsakenis just telling his players there that needed the one touch off Connor Evans, but no one was in the vicinity for him to get to the ball to them. Mlinaric. Browning. Again playing deep. They've got to be careful. They got caught out in similar vein last year at Marconi. Did Sydney FC. Pupion, infield now. Rides the challenge of Yulee. Holman. Coop running the angle. Goes it alone. Talbot gets there first, isolated. Giorgio Speranza, Mitchell Malia. Can't quite get it to Browning. Quite a stop-start affair this one tonight. Talbot with a throw. Coop. Again, they lose possession. Frangie. Both coaches must be pulling their hair out at the moment. Cheap possession that's being given away by both sides. No side able to heap pressure on the other. Speranza. Vekic. Has to play it long under pressure. Mlinaric. Nieuwenhof. Holman. Loses out to Yulee. Jesic to switch to Malia. Again. Waits for support. Giorgio Speranza. Milgate. Roberto Speranza. Costa. Heavy first touch. Nieuwenhof nicks it away for Sydney. Mlinaric. Skipper plays it short under pressure. Does well. Pavlicic sends it up towards the halfway line. 37 and 3/4 minutes gone here at Illingdon Sports Centre. Sydney FC nil, Marconi Stallions nil. The game's played earlier today. North Shore Mariners 3. Defeated Wollongong Wolves 2. Sydney United 58 FC 5. Defeated Town Rangers 0. The game's played earlier this round on Saturday night. Rockdale 1, Sutherland 1. And Manly United went down at home to Blacktown City by a goal to nil. So Blacktown City 2-1-0 victories to start the season for Mark Crittenden. 2 wins on the spin. It's important that all sides not only get away to good starts this year to keep momentum going and try and entrench themselves in that top 5, but relegation promotion based solely on first grade this year. The ball over the top, Plavicic quick. No club championship. That includes the under-20s and the under-18s, so they can't rely on the lower age groups to pick up points. Holman, great vision, finding Swibble, can run it. Can cross, gets a deflection. Pipion happy to watch it go over for a Sydney corner. You're watching the final game of round 2 of the National Premier League's New South Wales Men's 1 competition for 2020. We've got us calling the action for you tonight. Out here at Rockdale, Illingdon Sports Centre. And will be Thomas Fay to whip this one in. On his left, plays it short. Evans gets there first. Ball still in play. Will be another Sydney corner, so they'll reload once again. This time hoping for a better delivery in. Thomas Fay goes far. Punched away by Vekic. Frangie can keep it in. Sends it long for Costa. Pavlicic gets the ball. Plays long. Giorgio Speranza heads it down for Connor Evans. Evans plays it down the line for Malia. Waits to go past. Mitchell Malia, first time balling, looking for Jesic. Well, he just couldn't get his foot high enough there, Marko Jesic, the skipper. They broke quickly down the left. Malia with the inviting ball in. And only inches away from taking the lead there, Marconi Stallions. Jesic leaves it for Costa. Manaric gets there first. Pipion. Finding Coop on the far side. Sydney now through Holman. The ball in for Swibble on his left. Has a shot. Gets a deflection. Wins the corner. We had plenty of time there in the centre of the park. Shorty Swibble. Marconi doing just enough to get bodies in the way. This time it's Callum Talbot. Plays it short for Jake Holman. Onto his left. Holman the ball in. Far post ball looking for Flopman. Can cross safety first. Has to concede the corner. Into the final 3 minutes of this first half. Can they strike while the iron's hot? Sydney FC. Talbot. Beautiful ball in. Far post ball looking for the header. And the ball almost put away into the back of the net. It was Geordie Swibble. He's certainly disappointed with himself there. Geordie Swibble. Of course, he's come back a much stronger player this season after having played the full season last year, albeit through some periods of injury. The National Youth League Series and part of the squad now of Sydney FC. Has played some minutes off the bench this year. Roberto Speranza. The ball in. Hacked away by Flopman. Malia gets a deflection. And the opening goal of the game goes to Marconi Stallions. Well, Anthony Costa's claiming it. It may well have come off him last, but it's the Stallions who take the lead here. Approaching the half-time at Illingdon Sports Centre, they lead 1-0. So it will be Anthony Costa. Finds himself on the score sheet. His first goal in Marconi colours. So a confidence booster for him. Of course, a perennial goal scorer in the South Australian Premier League with Adelaide City. Making his way across to New South Wales this year to challenge himself. Many believes the toughest competition in NPL football in the country. Keen cross. Sends it forward, looking for Costa. Flotman gets there first. Evans shifts it across to the right now, finding Roberto Speranza. Frengie. Evans. Coop tracking back, just holds him up momentarily. So has to go inward again. Malia the 1-2 with the skipper it was. Didn't quite work out for him there. Milgate and Tolman. Youngster pulls him down, but goes across the byline for a Marconi goal kick. Nenad Vekic in no hurry. As we approach the 45-minute mark, just the additional minute to be added on in this first half. As we see fourth official Jared Katz raise the semaphore, 1 minute. For Marconi to hold on, perhaps find a second, or maybe Sydney FC can conjure up one final effort in this first half. Certainly be made the chase this one after that Mitchell Malia goal. Well, it's Costa that was credited with it. Not sure how much of it that he knew of. Browning. Evans. Cries of handball. Talbot place it back. No, says the referee. The only reasoning I could think of there is that Malia must have got that final touch on it as Callum Talbot played it back to Pavlicic. Pupion. Shifts it right. Talbot. Held up by Giorgio Speranza. Into the 47th minute mark now. Can't be too much longer. Costa. Rise the challenge of Lenaric, but he does well, the skipper. And in the process, that'll be half-time here at Illingdon Sports Centre. A goal laid on to Anthony Costa for the Stallions. Gave them the lead approaching the sheds. But Jim Van Weeren's side had their opportunities throughout that first half to mount some pressure. So again, it's certainly in the balance as we hit half-time here at Rockdale. Sydney FC 0, Marconi Stallions 1. We'll take a short break and come back for the second half of this final game of the second round of the National Premier League's New South Wales Men's 1 competition. It's Marconi Stallions 1, leading Sydney FC 0. Just gone out of our screens. Bring them for you at the moment. Half-time stats. Just not able to pick them up for you, but not much between both sides in his first half. You see a substitute for Marconi. So will be 16, Lee Muley coming off and replaced by Mark Rodich.
Substitution for Marconi's Stallions FC.
I'm not sure if Lee Muley picked up an injury or not in that first half. He certainly had a couple of tough challenges after getting that early yellow, so perhaps caution not thrown to the wind there by Peter Tsakenis. Sydney FC chasing this one. Of course, we went through the 4 head-to-head results between these two sides since they both started playing against each other. Frangie tries his luck from distance. Just the 4 games thus far over the last 2 seasons. Of course, Marconi coming back up from NPL 2. The Stallions, 3 of the 4 games resulting in victories to them, just with the 1 draw. Last year they defeated Sydney 5-2 and 2-0. And back in 2018, Marconi won 4-1, and the first meeting between the two was a 2-2 draw. As Browning now looks to shift the ball across to the right-hand side. Swibble. Talbot. Holman. Under pressure from Yesic. Still going, Jake Holman. And Joey turns it over. That's another one of the Joeys in the Sydney FC setup. Quick shout out to my family who are listening in tonight. We touched on the players and their families and friends that come out, but also all the people involved in bringing you the action week to week. Our families who allow us to give up the greater part of the winter season. All prepping's a little different for each commentator, but the hours that go in prepping as well as the travel and the calling, you're probably looking at about 15 hours a week that we have to find away from the family. So always grateful and thankful not only for the opportunities that present through Football New South Wales, but to my young family for allowing me to do that. Free kick to Sydney just inside Marconi territory. Taken quickly, looking for Ben Coop, and they almost catch them out. Just can't chest that down. Under pressure there from Millgate. Vekic rolls it quickly for Roberto Speranza. Again, another long ball forward. Cut out nicely by Thomas Fay it was. Nieuwenhof gets around Roberto Speranza for Coop. So that's the check his run. Nieuwenhof. Talbot. Pipion. Back to Browning. Flopman to Mlinaric. Coop, nice turn, finding Swibble inside the box, front post, he pooks it out and he can't find it. Well, he picked it out nicely there, Jordan Swibble. Great movement from the young Sydney FC side. So near yet again for Jordan Swibble. They still trail early in the second half by a goal to nil. Lambert Park scoreline at the moment, 78th minute. It's RPO 1, Sydney Olympic 1. Adam Santarossa calling that one across there, so it's set up for a grandstand finish. Of course, they did play out that grand final a couple of seasons back. Olympic 2 good, 3 goals to 1. They did the double that year, but last year, RPO runners up in the premiership race and champions. So they have been the top 3 or so side over the last 4 or 5 years, Apia. Again, one of the benchmarks this year. Nice ball over the top. Finding Holman. Slides it in behind for Coop. Oh, he's just offside. Well, Marconi got to tread carefully. They're playing that high line in that back 4 at the moment. If they keep peppering Sydney FC through that middle corridor, the speed is certainly there with Sybil and Coop. Of course, the youngster Pupion as well. Jordan Swibble last week picked up the man of the match out at Popendetta. So he was in the team of the round. Cameron Pupion, 2 points. So whilst it's a new side for Jimmy Van Weeren this year, I'm really looking forward to the year and watching these youngsters continue to improve. Of course, in the under-20s game played earlier today was a 1-1 draw. Both goals coming from penalties. Swibble, the Dragon, turn. Evans gets back to block the area. Again, they try and thread it through. For Holman. Nieuwenhof with the throw. 6 minutes gone in the second half here at Illingdon Sports Centre. Sydney FC nil, Marconi Stallions 1. Long ball forward. Get down there by Callum Talbot. Again, offsides to the call. Vekic takes it quickly. Malia on his bike, can't keep it in. The temperatures dropped appreciably here at Rockdale. Won't be too long and we'll have to dust off the winter jackets for our calls. Many of the grounds are open air cinemas. I'm happy to brave the elements as long as it's not raining. See Roberto Speranza getting a talking to from the referee. Toby Plasto. Lenaric. Browning for Talbot. Helped on its way by Swibble. Pupion goes down. Another yellow card. This time it'll be Zach Cancross. He's always good for plenty of yellows throughout the season. Zach Cancross gets his first tonight. I think from memory, picked up one last week, so up to 2 already. And will be Callum Talbot to send this one into the 18-yard box for Sydney. Can they find a leveller? Ball in, looking for the far post ball. Finally, comes off Vekic. Well, for mine, I thought Vekic tipped it onto the Sydney player. As we see some argy-bargy in the box. Youngsters not shying away from the tussle tonight against the much more experienced Marconi outfit. $83 gone. Still at Lambert Park. Apia 1, Sydney Olympic 1. Again, the referee calling out the players. So we'll just run through the games for next week. On Saturday night, Marconi Stallions will be at the Palace at Bosley Park, hosting Sydney Olympic. Also at 7 o'clock next Saturday night, Manly United at Cromer Park hosting Sydney United. So Manly looking to get into the winner's circle. Sydney United with that big 5-0 thumping today of Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Mount Druitt host Wollongong in the first of the early games on Sunday, 2 o'clock. We'll come back to those shortly. Talbot to deliver this one in. Far post ball, looking for the header from Flopman. He gets enough on it, but can't keep it down. The 2-3 o'clock kickoffs next Sunday. Blacktown City at home hosting Sutherland Sharks. Whilst the North Shore Mariners and Joe Hayward's side host Sydney FC at Lambert next Saturday. So a draw with last year's champions defeating last year's premiers. They'll be tough to beat in that one in the final game. The 4:30 kickoff next Sunday afternoon. Rockdale here at Illingdon hosting Apia. We see another substitution. This time it's for Sydney. So Benjamin Coop coming off for young Jaden Kaczarski. So a like-for-like substitution for Jim Van Weeren. Last week, Jaden Kaczarski started for Jim Van Weeren. Tonight off the bench. Evans with the ball in. Pavlicic strong. Releases quickly. And Sydney can counter. They've got the numbers. Marconi plays. Steaming back. Connor Evans, Malia there. Just to hold them up in case they went through the middle corridor. Swivel, twisting and turning. Taken down. Wins the free kick. And we see another substitution. Second of the evening for Marconi. So it'll be Anthony Costa coming off, the goal scorer. And it'll be Brandon Vella to come on in his place. And Brandon Vella got some good minutes tonight off the bench. Last week scored there. Fourth. Costa takes a break. So we'll see a reshuffle. Brandon Villa, the midfielder. Talbot, ball into the box. No one there for Marconi wanting it. Cleared away. And they'll recycle once again, Sydney. Through Holman. Flopman high again. Well, he's been a menace in this second half, Patrick Flopman. Strong in the air, the central defender for Jim Van Weeren. So we'll see Connor Evans play a little higher up the pitch in that number 10 role. Marko Jesic up top at the moment. And Vella in the middle with Rodic. Nenad Vekic with the goal kick. Up over the halfway line it goes. Mlinaric tries to hold off Evans. Tug in the back. Wins the free kick. Talbot plays it long. Looking for Kaczarski. Goes out on the far side. 13.5 minutes going in the second half. No change to the halftime scoreline. Marconi Stallions 1 leading Sydney FC 0. Is that about to change? Flopman leaves it for Pavlicic. Fay. Mlinaric. Flopman. Again, they go long. Cut out nicely by Giorgio Speranza. Well read. Vella. Tries to dink it in behind for Jesic. Evans. First time ball forward. Jesic under pressure. Loses out. Nieuwenhof. Beats one, beats two. Swibble. Jordan Swibble protesting no advantage played, but it was a free kick taken quickly. Talbot. Frangie just pushing him back. Allow Marconi to take their shape once again. Holman loses out. Oh, it falls apart for Sydney FC. And can they be buried? Of course they can. Anthony Frangie puts it in the back of the net well. A lazy pass back there. Sees Anthony Frangie gets his first of the season. And the visitors double the lead. It's Marconi 2, Sydney FC 0. Well, just a little lazy with composure there, Sydney. Anthony Frangie thought Christmas had come at once on his own, and all of a sudden the ball's in front of him. Did well to place it past Adam Pavlicic, 1 by 1. Well, it's a tough ask for Sydney, trailing a goal to nil, and now trailing 2-0, and touched on in the call earlier. Saw them give it away last year in a game, that round 14 contest that Marconi defeated Sydney by 5 goals to 2. They got caught out at the back and punished, and similar tonight for that second. Of course, saw Anthony Frangie last season with plenty of injuries. Worked really hard in this off-season to get his body right. He certainly started the year for Peter Tsakenis in rich vein. I think one time last year, early on it was, he couldn't find the back of the net. Assistant coach Peter Paputhis, I think, took his boot to St. Spiridon Church for Mass one day, I kid you not, to change his luck. He certainly did that. Won't need to do that this year. Malia, nice turn inside. Looking to lay it off. Rodic close. Can keep shifting the ball to the left. Jesic. First time ball in. No one there, far post. Of course, Anthony Frangie come infield. So ordinarily that'd be his position, but he was the man that got the shift going. Pavlicic. Up towards Kaczarski. Gets there first. Heads it down. For Swibble. Nieuwenhof. Browning. Vella. Talbot. Swibble. Gets the second ball back from the block. Flopman. Switch of play. This time his diagonal ball. Finding Jake Holman. The 1-2. With Thomas Fay still going. Jake Holman can pull the trigger from distance and not far wide from the youngster, Jake Holman. Well, they shifted the ball across to the left. The beautiful 1-2 with Thomas Fay. Jake Holman up towards the 18-yard box. He steamed. Wasn't far wide. Reducing the deficit here at Illingdon Sports Centre. Still it remains 2-0 to Marconi. That was much better from Sydney. We know the speed that they've got and can counter in transition. As we head up towards the 19-minute mark in this second half. So still plenty of time for the Sky Blues to get back into this one, but they certainly need to be the next one to score or the game will be killed off. Flopman climbs high. Frangie leaves it. Throwing goes to Marconi. Don't forget the football for Fireys on the 23rd of May. If you haven't got your tickets yet, be sure to get out to ANZ Stadium and support that one. Tickets available through Ticketek. As we see Sydney FC on the sideline. Another substitution looming. Looks like it'll be the defender in Aaron Gerd. I think Patrick Flopman is on limited minutes tonight, so if I'm not wrong, he will be the man to make way. So a like-for-like substitution for Sydney. We wait for the whistle to blow. Yesic looks like the man. Upsets the skipper. The ball bounces in front of Pavlicic, but a nice bounce for him. It's quick distribution intercepted by Yesic. Speranza. Oh, Specky there, and what a goal by Anthony Frangi. Well, they turned it over from the distribution. Anthony Frangi onto his right. Gets his second of the night, second of the season. And Marconi Stallions look like they're headed for a victory here at Illingdon Sports Centre. They lead 3-0. And substitution to take effect now. So Patrick Flopman coming off for Aaron Gerd. Well, Anthony Frangi, just like that, goes bang, bang. And Sydney gets punished. Can he make it three? Anthony Frangi slides it across for Yesic. First time ball delivery in. Well, he took that touch. In the end, Frangi gets a second opportunity to send it in. Mitchell Marley now for Marconi. No doubt we'll see Somalia razzle-dazzle. The back end of the second half. Connor Evans has a snap. Well, this is the difference from the NYL to the NPL New South Wales men's competition. The first goal, the deflection, fortuitous for Marconi. Did come off Costa, so he's credited with it. The second one, the turnover. The third one, the great vision for Marko Jesic from the early ball out from Pavlicic. Made its way to Frangi. And that'll be certainly a goal of the round contender from Anthony Frangi. Give him an unassailable lead, one would think. And they look like they are headed to their fourth victory in 5 games. Unbeaten against the Sky Blues. In the top flight of New South Wales football. Good. For Mlinaric. Under pressure from Rodic. Stays down. Heavy challenge. It was. Clutching at his, looks like his shin. There, Anton Mlinaric, the skipper. Ball's sent into the stands by Browning. See the Sydney physio go on. Full time at Lambert Park, and a late goal from Apia have defeated Sydney Olympic by 2-1. So Sydney Olympic remain winless through the first 2 rounds of the competition. High turnover of player in the off-season. Never easy for an incoming coach, Terry Palapanis, with a new squad to work with. They'll need to get some wins in the coming weeks just to give them some momentum and confidence. As Mlinaric comes across, has a word to assistant coach Howard von Dyke. Marconi send it back to Sydney after that forced clearance out of the ground by Browning. So just recapping. We'll hold that process for a moment or two. Millgate sends it back into the middle of the field. Browning wins it. Nieuwenhof. Gerd. Just recapping on the results thus far. This one's still in the balance. One would think, though, Marconi headed to a victory last night. Southern Sharks won. Rockdale, Illingdon won. Manly nil, Blacktown City won. And today's results. Wollongong Wolves 2 were defeated by North Shore Mariners 3. And Mount Druitt Town Rangers 0. Heavy defeat to the visiting Sydney United 58 FC. Of course, that game was transferred from Adenza Sports Centre. The ground, the new synthetic field, not quite ready yet. So they will play the corresponding fixture in the second part of the season at Adenza Park. Sydney United picking up this first victory of the season after going down narrowly last week to Blacktown by a goal to nil. Of course, as it stands, Marconi and Blacktown, the only two teams to potentially be on the 6 points from the opening 2 rounds, but Marconi with a far superior goal difference. If things are to stay the way that they are, will finish the round in top spot and occupy that for the second week running. Nieuwenhof. Lenarich seems to be moving a lot more free now. Shifts it across the left, finding Fay. Holman. Infield they go. Read by Cairncross. Still going. In uncharted territory. The central defender there. Pipion, the 1-2. Still going. Kaczarski cuts inside. Angle closes down quickly. Pipion there, goes down. Claims for a penalty. The referee says we'll have a goal kick, thank you. Well, Gotts is calling this one for you tonight. We see another substitution for Sydney FC. So Patrick Wood coming on for Jake Holman. So that is the bench emptied for Jim Van Weeren. Of course, still on the bench tonight for Peter Tsakenis. James Andrew and Martin Fernandez. Yet to taste any minutes in this one. As we approach final 17 minutes in this contest. Malia stands on it. Evans slows it down. Vela. Millgate. Roberto Speranza. Finding Anthony Frangi. Goes down. The former Hakawa striker. Pipion. Marconi wrestled it away once again in the centre of the park. Evans. Malia. Tries to get around the outside of Talbot. Does well. The youngster, but concedes the corner. So another corner for the Stallions. Opportunity once again to mount a set piece. Cairncross this time staying back. As Nathan Millgate and Roberto Speranza make their way up towards the 18-yard box. If it's a far post ball, look for Nathan Millgate once again to feature. He has Mlinaric on him at the moment. Millgate climbs high and gets it in the back of the net. Well, Nathan Millgate over the top there of Anton Mlinaric. And Marconi Stallions score 4 again, and they lead 4-0 over Sydney FC. Well, you can see the set pieces there. What's going to happen, what's going to unfold, but not many players can hold off the aerial prowess of Nathan Milgate. Of course, who could forget a couple of seasons back scoring that victory against the Melbourne Victory, the then reigning champions in the FFA Cup. There we see Cancross coming off now for Jimmy the Jet. So James Andrew with a quarter of an hour to impress the coach. Well, Sydney FC have had the wins taken out of their sail in the second half. Can they find something late on? Give them that bit of confidence. Of course, next week will be a tough ask. North Shore Mariners, the new boys, winning the club championship, were premiers last year. Did go down 6-3 to Hills United in that grand final. Joe Hayward has done a remarkable job playing attractive football at the same time. They were very unlucky not to get the full points last week. Braden Cheng late on, crashing his header against the crossbar. And today to beat the premiers and the national champions down in Wollongong. A rare defeat for Wollongong. Milgate with the throw. Sends it like a missile down the line. Thomas Fay with the header back upfield. Nieuwenhuis loses out to Brandon Vella, but Sydney back in possession now on the far side through Talbot. Can't quite find Jaden Kaczarski there. Joining us, Marconi Stallions leading this one by 4-0, but Sydney FC can peg one back now. Cameron Pupion with a shot. Wonderful save there from Nenad Vekic. Looking to keep a clean sheet tonight. Goals tonight for the Stallions. Anthony Costa in the 44th minute gave him the lead, approaching half-time. Anthony Frangi doubled the lead in the 61st, then found a third in the 67th for his team. Nathan Milgate with a header in the 75th from close range, beating Adam Pavlicic at the near post. Milgate just climbing a little bit too high for Lenaric there. Well, they looked a little slow in the first half, Marconi, but they've certainly accelerated in the second half. And after putting 4 on Sutherland last week, put 4 on Sydney. And similar to last week, that final 25 minutes to half an hour where they scored 3 goals. The game was in the balance at 1-1. And again, they went bang, 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 and they won 4-1. Similar vein tonight. Goals in the 61st, 67th, 75th minute. So in a space of 15 minutes, they scored another 3 goals and really took it away. Kaczarski, first time. Can't find the target. After that nice run from Cameron Pupion. course, don't forget to share the streams. Tell people about the National Premier League's New South Wales competition, the men's one. NPL 2, NPL 3, NPL 4 also starting today. The NPL W started. All games live streamed in the NPL W New South Wales competition this year. Plenty of experienced commentators across the men's and women's. Bring you all the action. Don't forget to set the notifications, set them up. You can watch the games come into your inbox on your phone, via Facebook and YouTube. Evans. Again, ball in diagonally looking for Millgate. A little too close to Pavlicic. Finds Pupion from the clearing kick. Again, Evans wins the ball and Marconi through. Malia has Gerd in front of him. Browning coming across there to help out. Millgate. Of course, we saw Nathan Millgate last season start the year as a right back, and that's where he spent his years at Apia. Of course, previous to that, he was at Spartans. Played in that central defensive role, but has made right back his own. But through injury last season and suspension, Peter Tsakenis gave him his opportunity in the middle of the defence, and he hasn't looked back. It's been a formidable centre-back pairing. He and Zach Cancross. Sees the Speranza boys playing left and right backs. First time ball in off the crossbar. Well, almost a goal there for Marko Jesic. This time in transition. Vekic has to get out to meet it. Well, for mine today, Anthony Frangi's been close to the best player on the park. Has caused havoc in whichever channel he's been asked to play, left and right. Scoring a brace himself. There's Fay. It's taken down there. That'll be a free kick to the Sky Blues. 37.5 gone in the second half. It's Marconi 4. Leading Sydney FC nil. Malia. Talbot. Wrestling each other down that left-hand touchline. Malia loses out to Talbot and also Browning, who helps him out. Cries of a back pass. Referee Toby Plasto waves it away. Talbot. Browning under pressure from Frangi. Shifts it to the left. This time finding Pupion. Thomas Fay doubling up on the outside if he wants to go there. Ball inside for Browning. Too much on it. Heat just finding its way out to Jesic. Giorgio Speranza there. Under heavy challenge. Wins the free kick. A little bit of tiki-taka at the moment from Marconi. Millgate shanks it. Up over the sideline it goes. So Sydney with a throw. Don't forget to check out all the highlights that will come out tomorrow across the Football New South Wales streams, the NPL New South Wales Facebook page, Football New South Wales YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to the newsletters. If you've got a favourite club of yours, subscribe to the newsletters as soon as they drop. You get all the latest match programs available, usually on Thursday afternoon. check out who's in, who's out, what the latest goss is for all teams around the grounds. If you can't get to a game, the next best thing, watching it live on the streams, but if you can, try and get to the games throughout the year. Swibble, Speranza, Roberto gets across there and clears it away. A tough night for Geordie Swibble. Had a couple of opportunities early on in that first half. Just couldn't take one of them. Changes the whole context of the game. Once they gave up that second one, it's a whole different contest. Swibble will keep it in. Rodic comes back to hold him up. First time ball in. Talbot drives at it. And not far over the bar there by Callum Talbot. Good technique and execution from the right back. Just inches over. Never easy to hit a ball like that on the run. On the half volley as it's rising. Did well to get his foot over the top of that one. Just couldn't get it low enough. Anthony Frangi remonstrating with the assistant referee. Ray Osborne, our ball, our ball. Charlie on the spot. It's the assistant referee. Rodic, interception. Finds the jet. Bella first time bowling, looking for Jesic. Turn it over and it's Talbot now. Into Marconi half. They go. Held up by Malia. Still going Callum Talbot. Swibble. No advantage. Just a late tackle there on Callum Talbot. Mitchell Malia, the transgressor. 3 minutes plus additional time added on here at Illingdon Sports Centre. Marconi Stallions top of the table through the first two rounds. Just like Wollongong Wolves were to start the year last year. Unbeaten in two. As it stands 4-0 up. 4-1 victors last week over Sutherland. Up steps Swibble. And he sends it down towards Cogra. And Advekic not too much asked of him in goals tonight. A couple of brilliant saves though. Wants to keep a clean sheet. Lenaric, Nieuwenhof, Evans, first time forward. Gerd with the header. Aerial ping pong at the moment. Finally get it down on the ground. Andrew, lazy ball in. Give it away. Sydney do the same. And it's Malia. Speranza goes in. Goes into the box. Cleared away by Fay. Browning. Talbot. Into the centre of the park he goes. Heavy challenge from Connor Evans. So he gets himself a yellow card. So just the 3 yellow cards to Marconi tonight. Lee Muley, Zach Cancross and Connor Evans. Into the final minute of regulation here at Illingdon Sports Centre. It's Marconi Stallions headed back to Bosley Park tonight with all 3 points. Currently leading 4-0. Millgate there. The second header. Finally cleared away by Giorgio Speranza. Patrick Wood in late. On him. No malice from the youngster. Just recapping the scores this round. Saturday, Southern Sharks 1, Rockdale, Illingdon 1, Manly 0, Blacktown City 1. And today's games, as we see 4 additional minutes of time added on. Today's games, Wollongong Wolves 2, North Shore Mariners 3. Mount Druitt Town Rangers 0. Sydney United 58 FC 5. Arpia 2, Sydney Olympic 1. And rounding out round 2, currently it's Marconi 4, leading Sydney FC 0. 4 minutes of additional time on. We're halfway through the first minute. So there won't be too many more opportunities for either side to strike. High foot raised there by Yesic. Referee says keep it down. Nieuwenhof looks to take it quickly. Finds Gerd under pressure from Malia. Again, they turn it over. Well, a little dispirited at the moment. Handball. Not intentional, but nonetheless. Free kick to Marconi. Certainly came out of the blocks last week against Mount Druitt in that heat. Big 3 points for them. The opening round. Just they lost their way a little in the second half. After the game was in the balance, half-time trailing 1-0. Nieuwenhof. Browning, a switch for Talbot. Finding himself a lot further down the field in his second half. Callum Talbot. The ball over the top. Jaden Kaczarski. First time for Nieuwenhof. Thomas Fay behind him. Talbot does well. Almost losing out to Yesic there. This time it's intercepted once again from Marconi. Speranza. That's Giorgio. Favela. Andrew. Frangie saying, give me the ball. And James obliges. Vela. Frangie looking to dink it in behind, taken down by Scott Browning. So a free kick. Final minute and a half left in this one. Can Marconi find a fifth like they did in the round 14 clash last year against Sydney? Will Sydney stand firm from this set piece? Plenty of talk from Anthony Frangie as he walks up towards the wall. Connor Evans will be the man. Perhaps Millgate once again will get an opportunity. They play it short. Oh, lovely ball in behind. Yesic. Well read there from Sydney. That was Geordie Swibble doing some defensive duties. They mixed things up there, Marconi. Everyone was expecting the far post ball in for Millgate. Almost catching them out. Evans for Yesic. Offside's the call. Yes, sir, it is. They look to play quickly into the final minute. 20 seconds left. Sydney send it forward. Headed on by Swibble. Speranza. Roberto to his brother Giorgio. And ladies and gentlemen, that's full time here at Illingdon Sports Centre. Resounding victory in the end to Sydney FC by 4-0. They led 1-0 at half time, but went on with the job in the second half. A resounding victory to go on the back of their first round victory over Sutherland by 4-1. They win this one 4-0. The goals today to Anthony Costa in the 44th minute. Anthony Frangie with a brace in the 61st and 67th minute. And Nathan Millgate rounded out proceedings here at Rockdale with a fourth. Peter Tsakanis will be happy. 8 goals in 2 games. And for the second week running, they will lead the competition, ending the round for Jim Van Wieren. A little bit back to the drawing board after last week's victory. Plenty to work with this young side, as we touched on at the top of the hour. Mostly 2001 and 2002 born kids getting an opportunity this year. The younger NPL squad. But full time here at Illingdon Sports Centre. Marconi Stallions 4 have defeated Sydney FC 0. I'm Will Gotch. It's been a pleasure calling all the action for you tonight. We'll catch you next week around the grounds. Thank you and good night.